everyone, this is Lori Ann Smith. Welcome to my website, Born in Hell. This is a video series, progression, looking at the abuse and different years of my life. And we're looking at 18 and 19 years old tonight. And I just want to thank everybody who's sharing my work and who's interested in child abuse protection. And mainly, that's what this is all about. It's just to detail what happens to a family when a family doesn't get help, or just an intervention's done and yet nothing happens. It doesn't work. People slip through the cracks all the time. If you do child abuse studies, you will find that out. That children slip through the cracks all the time, and families do. That's why children are ending up dead. They're in the morgues. This is such a horrific situation, and so I really appreciate anybody who's taken the time to listen to my work and to listen to my audios and watch my videos. And thank you very much. This is my little cat, Lori. She likes to be in all the videos. She likes to come say hi, and she's just precious. She's our baby. Her name's Little Lori, and so, thanks for being here. This is all of my stuff is explicit and graphic. I'm talking about child abuse, domestic violence, abuse of any type. You have to listen at your own discretion. If you're a person who just might be bothered by this sort of thing, please don't watch. You won't be hurting my feelings. Just watch something else, right? For survivors, you have to know where you're at in your healing journey, and please don't watch this if you're not sure that information about abuse, about any of these things that we know about, is going to trigger you and to cause you to regress in your healing journey, right? You want to move forward, nice and steady pace, and you don't want to go back, right? So listen at your own discretion. Make sure you're in a safe enough place to listen, in a safe enough, place in your healing journey that you can actually listen to this without it having it trigger you and cause you to regress, right? And minors under the age of 18, please have adult, some sort of parental adult, consent. Have them listen to this with you, or listen to it first, or watch it first, or whatever, and make sure that it's age appropriate for you. I'm all about preventing child abuse, so you have the right to be protected, and you would be doing me a huge favor and yourself a huge favor if you would have permission to listen to my shows if you're 18 and under. Please. This is really all about children. But the issue is that children need to be protected at all times, and they should be, and you have the right to it. And so you'd be doing me a favor if you'd have an adult, somebody you trust, somebody who's trustworthy. Listen to this stuff first and make sure it's age appropriate for you, right? So thanks, everybody. We'll get right into this. I left off talking. I've done quite a few videos now, and just discussing the issues of meeting this girl, Diana, and I'm starting to actually develop something within me that actually says, I don't deserve to be treated this way, and my friend is actually encouraging me that I need to stand up, and I need to actually put my foot down and tell my mom, I need better treatment here. And so we left off with me working with my mom now, and my sister and my mom decided I should get a job and work with my mom. And the boss, actually, the manager there, actually does hire me on, just saying that my mom and I have to keep it a work relationship only, not mother-daughter there at work in the office, right? And she doesn't want any problems. And she's like, as long as you guys can do that, then I'm certainly willing to give it a try. And I said, yeah, me too. And so, I'm working with my mom. Nothing's really changed between my mom and myself. I mean, I'm 16. I've got a car now. I party all the time. I'm away from the house more now, but I'm older and I got a car. I also do things for my mom. I give her rides to work. I give her rides home because we go to work together, right? I'm still living at home. It's only been about like 1 year, really, that I get this job, since prior to that my mom and dad had just spent the whole summer beating me up, and so not much has changed, a little less physical abuse, but my mom is still wanting to slap me around. And so one time at the office, I'm now 17, I've graduated. I've been graduated for like half a year now. We're into the next year, and uh, we've been working together now for a while, right? I guess I said something she didn't like. I must have said something that wasn't. She just didn't want to hear, because that's generally what it was. If she just didn't like something I said, then she would backhand me, whatever, beat the shit out of me. So I must have said something, or she was trying to get me to do something and I didn't want to do it. I don't know what it was, but all I know is at the office we get into this fracas, this racket. This what do you want to call it? A fracas or whatever you want to call it. And there's all the people sitting around the office. We had I think there was 12 of us, 12 people in this office, all working together. And they're all ladies, right? Different ages. Some are older than myself. I'm like the youngest person there, 17 years old. But they're all, some of them 20s, some of them 40s, some of them 50s, different ages, different age groups, right? And they know that I'm a bit of a handful. I'm stoned all the time. All I'm thinking about is partying. But I'm doing a good job at work, right? Um, Pretty much just because I actually like the job. Talking to people and just interacting. It was my first job. I'd never had a job before that. And I was enjoying the job. I was making money. I was sitting there in the same room with my mother. But, I was going so good, pretty good so far. But I said something that made my mom angry. Now, my mom, I'm still 5'11" and a half. She's still a big woman. Nothing changed there. She's, she's still big. And, she still weighs about 250, 280 pounds, somewhere in there. Nothing's really changed. Her arms are still much longer than mine. So, when she wants to hit you, what are you going to do? So we're at work. This is going down. My mom wants to beat me there at work. She starts grabbing me, and she's going to backhand me in front of all of these women. Right? I'm 17 now. I'm like, hello. Can we not talk and discuss this? Do you have to hit me? Right? I mean, does it always have to be your backhand in my face? Can we not just discuss things? Maybe have a conversation, right? That's not what I said. I'm sitting there getting ready to defend myself because she's backhanding me. Right? I'm like, these women are like, whoa, 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 no. My mom's like, she's a goddamn. Here she starts herself again. She loves it. She absolutely loves to trash me, right? And so these women are like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, Barb. That's not the way to treat your daughter. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, you're exactly right. Where have you been all my life? You should have been there a long flipping time ago, man. But I don't say anything. Out of respect, right? For my mom. And they're sitting there going, no, Barb, that's not the way you treat your daughter. And the boss is like, boss finds out about it. And she's like, look, I told you guys from the beginning. First of all, Barb, that's not appropriate. I think your daughter's a little too old to be slapping around, backhanding at work. And she's too old for that now. You got to talk to her. And, whatever your problems are, you got to keep them out of the office. And my mom was like pissed off, right? She wants to be able to hit me whenever she wants to, right? I'm getting too old for this shit. I could leave, right? I got a job now. I could go get an apartment. So this is sort of the way that it went. My attitude is bad. I have zero. I'm laughing about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I wasn't laughing then. On any of those beatings, I can laugh about it now because some of the scenes, it just astounds me that she would do this to me because I was actually a really good kid. I mean, I was, a little minor trouble here and there, like most kids, having some difficulties with some things and some disciplinary problems. But I really was not a bad kid. Is there a bad kid? Really? Is there a kid? You know, they're turned into bad kids. See, kids don't start out like that, right? Something causes kids to go wrong. You know, you see these bullies out here, you see these punks out here. Why are they there? And why are they like that? Because of their environment. See, the world outside of abuse doesn't realize this. You know, they don't understand, right? Children are innocent. They're born into this world, and when you treat them lovingly, they still might have some problems, guaranteed. Now that's a fact. I met lots of people who had great childhoods and never experienced any abuse whatsoever. They weren't necessarily spoiled either, but I mean, good childhoods who got in trouble, right? So it's not like it's a guarantee that a child won't get in trouble. But the thing is that, you know, if you train and teach a child the way to go, more than likely, even if they slip off the path a bit, they're going to come back, right? They're going to come back and they're going to do things right. You know, but if you beat a child and you maim a child and you continually run a child down, even without the physical abuse, right? I mean, I want people to know about what my mom did to me, right? It wasn't just verbal abuse. It wasn't just psychological abuse. She was beating me up, right? And caused me a lot of problems and a lot of pain, and so did my dad, right? But even if a child's not being physically abused, you know, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, emotional neglect is enough to send a kid over the edge without adding the physical element to it. And when you add the physical element to it, then you show that child that they are worthless. They're worse than, like, you wouldn't even treat an animal like that. And if you do, you'd be busted on animal abuse charges, right? You know, you wouldn't treat anybody like that, and especially not your child, you know. And it's just, you know, 18 years of this, right? I'm rolling around to 18 years now. 17 years just party. 17 years old, and my friend Di and I, all we're doing is partying. She wants to be in a band, so she buys a drum kit, and I buy a guitar. And we're thinking, yeah, we're going to be in a band because we're rocking. We're rock chicks. We're like rock and roll, heavy metal. We're punks, right? And everybody knows it. We're not doing well at all. I wouldn't want my kids involved in what we were doing. Um, Lots of drugs, you know. And a lot of my friends were just getting into all kinds of trouble in every way, right? I was trying to stay out of trouble because I was 18. They were all younger than me by 2 years. Remember now, I'm 2 years older than this group. My older friends had moved on. One of them moved on to heaven, was killed by a car, Arlene. She died when I was 15. And my other friend, Desiree, had moved to Oklahoma, so she was gone. So I started hanging around with these younger guys, younger girls. And, you know, I'm the oldest, and I'm 18. I don't want to get in trouble, man, with the law. That's the last thing I want. And it wasn't even because I was thinking, oh, if I get in trouble with law, my mom's going to beat my ass. Because my mom beaten my ass steady since I was born. Whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I didn't want to get in trouble with the law because I didn't want my life any further ruined than it already was. You know, it's not, I mean, you know, it could have gone so incredibly bad. Something inside of me kept saying, you know, you got to try to do this right. My brothers had done time in the penitentiary, the jail system, prison. My brother Howard, in the meantime, after he moved up to Canada, had spent several years in prison for many different reasons. And, you know, not killing anybody or anything like that. I'm not violent crime, all non-violent crime, but he'd been busted so many times doing so many things, all about drug abuse, right? My brother Rob, I don't know if he did any time, but he was always homeless in Canada, and I didn't care about him anyway. Because my brother Rob raped me and hurt me and caused me to be barren. But at this time, I didn't know I was barren. But anyway, he caused me to shut down, and so did my mom and my dad, you know. But I didn't want any trouble with the law. And my friends were quite the troublemakers. So, we're just kind of getting into petty kind of stuff, nothing major. It's all detailed in my books if you want to check all that out. But 17, we're partying. We're partying. We're out drinking. I'm drinking and driving. I'm doing drugs and driving. I'm doing drugs and drinking and driving. Right? Because I'm high. You know why? Because that's my way of putting all the beatings and all the name calling and all the you should have never been born and I hate your fucking guts and all the you're worthless piece of shit and all the kickings and the punchings and the belts and the table legs and the broken nose and all of that stuff is getting put into a drawer, and I'm closing the drawer and I'm turning the key just like I did with sexual abuse, and I put the key away. And this is what's helped me to do that is the drugs. And also I really didn't care at this point if I lived or died. Now this is true. This is very true. Because when I was 10, I didn't want to be living anymore, right? I wanted to be dead. Told my mom, go ahead and kill me. I'm already dead. You've killed me, right? My spirit was dead. I knew that. My friend's killed. I'm cursing God in the backyard, telling him I hate him. Why didn't he take me? I'm the one that wanted to be dead, right? This is all starting to manifest in my life, apart from the abuse, right? Apart from all that garbage in my house, right? I'm a person. I'm 18 years old, doing a lot of drugs, smoking a lot of pot, drinking and driving, drinking and doing drugs, not taking care of myself, right? And I don't care because technically I don't care if I wake up in the morning, see? Now, my friends don't know that. Nobody knows that. My parents know that because I told them to their face to go ahead and kill me because I was dead anyway, but they probably forgot about that. But I know that. And so, I tuck it away and I do more drugs. That was my escape. That was my way of dealing with things, right? That was my way of actually remaining sane in an insane situation. But in the meantime, I'm hurting myself, right? And not doing well. So, but I'm managing to keep this job with my mom. But the abuse is continuing on at home. And she's not hitting me. She's not. After that episode, actually, if you would like to know when the abuse stopped, it stopped when the violence, the physical abuse, the last fucking slap in the face was at the office when I was 17. That's the last time my mom ever attempted to hit me. That's the last time she ever hit me. She never attempted to raise her fists at me again. She never attempted to backhand me again. I don't think she even threw anything at me again. She threw stuff at my dad. She was still throwing stuff at my dad. But there's no more physical violence from her. She never had me up against the wall with holding my fucking throat and slamming me into the wall. She none of that stuff. She never attempted any of that again because at that office, she was told by them women, that's enough, man. You don't treat your daughter like that. And it just woke her up, I guess. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's not that little kid that I used to kick around all the time. Oh, right. Oh, she's grown up now. So I'm 17, but she's still cursing me. That never changed. See, just because she stopped hitting me and beating the shit out of me and kicking my ass did not mean that our relationship changed at all, right? Because the verbal abuse just kept on coming. That never stopped, as well as her disdain for me. I never wanted you in the first place. You're a goddamn piece of shit. And here you are causing, always somebody doing something to her. And actually, we weren't doing anything to her but trying to help her. Right? My mom was mentally ill. So, it's like, you know, I decide at that point, me and Diane, right, we decide we're going to move out. Because at her house, I told you I'll fill you in a little bit about this. I'm not going to go into every single detail because I don't know if she wants that much information spread around. But there's some problems there with this new stepdad that she's got. Her mom moved this guy in. He's the guy that actually told my dad, she's not going with you, when I was at the house after my mom beat my ass. And I went over there. And he told my dad, no, she's staying here. She doesn't want to go with you. Right? Well, that's the guy, Robert. Well, he starts becoming abusive, right? To not just the kids, not just my friend and her sister, but the mother too. Isn't that funny how abuse runs in cycles? Because she had divorced, my friend's mother divorced a man who put her in the hospital. My friend's dad, real dad, had put her mother in the hospital on several occasions. She divorced him. He was drunk. He was an alcoholic. So she marries this other guy years later. And he's really no better. And now he's beating on the kids, threatening to kick them out. And the mother does absolutely nothing about it. Nothing. So me and Diane's having problems at home. And I'm like, we should move out, man. We got to move out. She's like, yeah, we can get an apartment, two of us, because she was working part-time with me at the office. But she only worked there for a short period of time, and then she went on to work at other places. But we had enough money that we could split rent, right? And we were going to move out. And I'm just turning 18 in the wintertime because my mom's still cursing me. She still hates my guts, right? And she's still making it very plain and clear that she never wanted me from the beginning, right? That I was just this raped child, right? She loved to throw that out at me, She never wanted me in the first place. She never loved me. She never cared. She would just get her digs in, man. I mean, if she couldn't dig me with her fist, she couldn't dig me with a backhand or a belt or whatever she was going to dig me with. She was going to dig me with words. She was going to dig me with her hostility from her heart, right? People say, well, are you sure she really meant those things? Wasn't it just that she was mentally ill and she couldn't help herself? It's like, no, she meant it, right? But in the meantime, I love her, right? I love my mom. I used to hate her for a few years, especially through, I don't know, after 10, really. I developed a hate on for her because she just became so vicious and so horrible to me. So I thought I hated both my parents, right? But I didn't, I actually really love my parents, very much so. I talk a lot about this on my Blog Talk Radio show. And it's in my books. But anyway, she's still getting her digs in. We decide we're going to move out. I tell my mom, I'm going to be moving out. Because this is no good, right? I mean, I'll still work with you over work. I'll come pick you up. And I'll take you to work. Because I was doing stuff for my mom all the time at this point. Going to the store for her, taking her to the doctor. She didn't want nothing to do with my dad. He's still trying to rape her. Go figure. Okay, I'm 18. How old is my mother? She's 38 years older than me. So add 38 and 18. She's 56. So how old is my dad? He's 4 years older. He's 60. And he's still trying to rape her. Go figure. Right. Nothing changed. They're still fighting, right? I'm like, she's like, if you move out, well, who's going to protect me? Who's going to be here to stop your father from raping me? Right? I'm like, you're going to have to figure that one out, Mom, on your own. Right? Because no one was there to protect me from Rob raping me. And she's like, how dare you bring that up to me, you goddamn whore. I never did anything. I never had anything to... And she starts dropping the blame. Oh, it was not her fault. Oh, no. She's like, I never. And I'm like, she don't faze me anymore, I'm not backing up into the wall waiting for a blow. I'm like, it is what it is, Mom. I've done all I can to help you out. I tried to do my best to save you from Dad several times and got my ass beat for it. And I didn't get any thanks from you. I got a fucking backhand and a beating or whatever. I got nothing from you for having my neck damaged, my back damaged, trying to protect you from him. You're going to have to figure that one out. I leave the house. This is how our relationship's going now. So I'm being 100% honest with her, and I don't care. So we're still working together, and I'm just turning 18. Well, we're partying. We're still partying. All of us are going out. It's March now. It's the end of March. I'm 18 years old. And my friends, I've got my friend Diane with me and these two other boys. They're a little younger than me. I'm hanging with the younger crowd, right? All these people are a little younger than me. 16, 17 years old. I'm 18. I'm the oldest, right? I'm driving. I wanted to go get batteries for my boom box because I had a boom box in the car because the car didn't have a stereo in it. And it didn't have air conditioning. I mean, this was just a used car, but it was fast, and I could beat Camaros. I used to race it, and I mean, it was fast. I could beat new, super souped up race cars with it. So that just gives you an idea what I was doing in my free time, right? Driving like a crazy person, and I had insurance and everything, right? I did. I had insurance, and so I'm driving. We're all going to the store to get batteries, but we're drinking, and we're driving, and I'm stoned. This is my norm. I'm always stoned. I've been stoned now for 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old. Okay, I've been stoned for 7 years now, and I've been doing drugs for a long time too. But I haven't been doing heavy drugs for that long at this point, just a couple years. And so we're going to the store. We're going to get batteries for my boombox. We're going to Walgreens. And I know where a Walgreens is. It's across town. It's over by our friend's house, who was a dealer. She was a dealer. One of my friends. Who was a lot older than us. She was in her 30s, I'm 18. She's got kids, grown kids, who were like 12, 14 years old. Well, they're dealers, right? It's great to have a friend who's a dealer. Really, when you're a drug addict, I'm not. No, kids don't do drugs, man. And if you're using drugs, if you don't find a way out, they'll make a way out for you. They'll make a way out for you. And you can think that's funny all you want, but my friend, one of my good friends, was killed in his driveway over a drug deal gone bad. And one of my brothers died of a drug overdose in a shelter, Howard. And one of my brothers committed suicide. He was a cocaine addict. And what else? Oh, I know. So another friend committed suicide by hanging. He was a drug addict. And so, and another friend of mine did time in San Quentin prison because he was a drug addict and he ripped off a pizza guy and killed him for his drugs. So he could get drugs. He wanted the money, killed a pizza guy. So, what I'm telling you is, if you're a young person and you're listening to this, or if you're anybody else, I mean, drugs will, if you don't get off the drugs, count it, game over. Because at some point, they will take you out. And so, it wasn't funny that I was doing drugs, right? So we're all high. I've been drinking. I'm not over limit. Not at all. I haven't been guzzling whole bottles of alcohol or anything like that. We're just drinking little, small bottle, tiny little minis sort of thing, And just getting a little buzz on, right? Going to Walgreens to get batteries for my boombox. And I hit some gravel. We're right by a park. I know where we are. I'm not lost. I hit some gravel, and the park has a funny turn. It's like a sort of like an L-shaped turn that you have to make, right? Well, I spun on the gravel in the water. It's March, right? It's the end of March. And so there's we still kind of spring just a water, from the spring, you're raining or whatever. So I hit some gravel and spun out. And I was just going to drive us into a tree. I mean, not into a tree, but in between the park, right? There was 2 trees, and I was going to steer us in between these 2 trees, just up into the park. No big deal. I would have probably popped some tires and crunched my rims, whatever, right? I mean, I had put these beautiful rims on there, $2,000. They were locked on. I mean, they were beautiful. And it's kind of what made the car, right? Was my rims and my wheels. And they were beautiful. And so, this guy in the front seat panics because he doesn't think that I know what the hell I'm doing with my car. And he grabbed the wheel and put it this way, and we hit a tree head on, going pretty fast, right? I don't really know how fast I was going. They said I must have been going about 45 on a turn that should have been done at about 15. So you can imagine driving down the road about 45 miles an hour and just running into a tree. Right? It was bad. It was really bad. Nobody died, thank God, right? But, that was a bad car accident. I talk a lot about that on a few of my shows. Not all the time. I don't bring it up all the time. But it was horrible, and I was just mostly upset that my friends were hurt, And we all ended up in the hospital. One guy actually didn't end up in the hospital, but he was so pissed off at me for wrecking my car with him in it that he never talked to me again. I went to apologize to him and his family. And I did to all of them, right? And he was like, "Well, I'm not going to accept your apology. I appreciate you coming over here to do this, but I'm not going to accept your apology, and I will never speak to you again. Don't ever let me see you again." That was his answer to that. He was so drunk that he didn't get hurt. Thank God, right? So, but one of my friend Di, hurt her knee. She was in the back seat, and this car had no car seats. No seat belts, right? And my friend sitting on this side, the guy that grabbed the wheel, his hand went through the windshield, and he had to have a surgery on his thumb. So they're in the hospital. I'm in the hospital, completely trashed. Right? I won't go into all the details of it. But the main thing was that my ankle was off my body. It wasn't over there 20 feet away. The bones had been completely crushed, and it was wobbling around in the skin at the bottom of my leg. Right? So it was off my body. My bones were no longer attached to my body. So they were like, either you're going to have to cut this off, or we're going to try to rebuild your ankle with keeping your foot with your toes, right? They had to make a decision quick. And I was in a shock from this accident. And so long story short, they did the surgery. I opted to keep my toes and have them rebuild it. And so they rebuilt it. And so I'm in a cast on crutches, right? Now me and my friend were going to move out. Well, this changed everything. This just changed the whole plan. Now I got no car. I got doctor bills because my insurance covered $5,000 this, but it was the surgery itself was like, I don't know, $12,000. This was years ago too, right? Today it would be like $250,000. It's like $12,000. So I still owed my doctor. I think it was a little more than that. I owed him like $9,000. Plus I had to go to physical rehab for my ankle after I came out of the cast and all that for like, I think it was a year. So I had to go 3 times a week to learn how to use my ankle again and learn how to walk on it. And that took a lot of my money, and because I had to pay monthly, and it was like $240 a month or something. So moving out was no longer an option. So just to go back to my story here, I get home from the hospital. My mom and dad come to the hospital. They get the call that I've been in an accident. And I'm kind of in and out of consciousness, right? I'm waiting for a room. They've got me sedated. I'm on morphine or something because I'm in shock, right? I wasn't passed out at this time. I was passed out at the car wreck. I had been knocked out. And I have quite an interesting story that relates to that, but I won't go into this. It's a little bit too long and drawn out. But anyway, my parents are pissed off. We were talking about child abuse. Right? So they're mad. They come down to the hospital. They're worried. They think, oh my God, our daughter's been in an accident. Who knows what they were thinking? I can't imagine that they were sitting there thinking, oh, that little fucking bitch, like they usually were. They were probably like really freaked out by it because my sister said they were. And upset because they were wondering just how bad I was, right? So that was nice to know. They both came. My dad drove my mom over there to see me. Right? I'm thinking they're going to come in and start yelling at me. I see them. And my mom, she's not crying. She's used to seeing me beat shit. She's usually the one that does it. So she's not crying. She doesn't seem to be all that concerned. But she's mad. It's like, look what you did. Now look what you did. You got yourself into trouble. And I'm like, she's like, I told you, you hang around with that girl, you're going to end up in trouble. I'm like, she had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, are they okay? So they start telling me about the other people that were in the car. So I finally get a room and I'm out of it now. The morphine is working, I'm still in shock, so they can't do anything for me till I'm out of shock, right? And my legs up in, traction, whatever. They only have 3 days to operate. So they have to really watch this very carefully. Well, they operate. So they do the operation. I go home with my old abuser parents. I can't move out now, right? Not for a while. So my mom, she's trying to be nice because I can't do anything, especially the first few days of coming home, because I'm on heavy duty like drugs, Demerol and stuff for the pain from the surgery. It just hurt so bad. I can't even tell you how bad that hurt. I couldn't even put a sheet on my foot. Not even a sheet could touch my foot, like a blanket, like a sheet. Nothing could touch my foot. It just hurt so incredibly bad. So anyway, lots of people who've had surgery probably know about that. So anyway, I'm trying to heal, but in the meantime, I want to go see my friends. I'm hanging around the house, trying to hobble around on my crutches, trying to learn how to use these damn things because I'm on crutches now. With my abuser parents, and they are being nice. They were being very nice to me. They actually treated me nice, really, for the first time in my lifetime. Even my dad, he was trying to be nice, and I didn't want them to be nice to me. I was like, no, you can't be nice to me now. Not after the way you treated me my whole life. See, it was like a flip, see? It was like, it's the psychological damage was incredible, what all this abuse did to me. All of a sudden, I'm like, I don't want your niceness now. I needed your niceness a long time ago, right? Now it's my turn to be hateful, right? Now it's my turn to be mean, So they're trying to help, but they're like, oh, well, we'll just leave her alone, give her some space, And in the meantime, I'm trying to deal with this guilt of hurting my friends. It's the last thing I wanted to do. The insurance companies all settled out of court with them. I wasn't sued or anything. My parents actually had to go to court for me while I was in the hospital for reckless driving and everything I was brought up on charges about, which they actually dismissed because it was a first-time offense. Thank God, because the tree was going to cost $20,000. I didn't have 20 grand. $20,000 and 2 years in jail for hitting that tree. So my parents went for me and got me out of that one. I had no prior stuff. I mean, I had some run-ins with the cops, but no charges, and I had never been arrested. I had been arrested, but I had never been charged, right? So, because I'm 18. The other guys, they're all young, they're under 18, right? Their parents are pissed at me for hurting their kids, and I don't blame them. I feel like the worst person on the planet, right? The guilt consumed me. It really did. And my friends, after about 2 weeks, I went to apologize to them. Like I said, my dad took me around so I could go to all their houses and apologize. And the one guy was the only one that wouldn't talk to me. The other guy said, we knew how you drove, and we got in the car with you every day to go party. And we knew how you drove, and we would be driving the same way. And so we're not holding anything against you, We're glad that none of us died. And we're going to think twice about getting in the car with you again if you're driving. But hey, it's all good, right? So they didn't hold a grudge against me. So that was a huge relief, right? I still felt bad, and I carried that guilt with me for a long time. And they were like, "You're gonna have to get over it, man. We're all buds." So I'm starting to get stoned with them again, right? I'm on crutches. It's a little difficult to get around, so I don't get to get out as much as I used to. I'm still going to work because my dad's now taking us to work. But the party's still going, and I'm still smoking pot, right? So I go one day. My friends decide to have a party. It's like a come home party for me, getting out of the hospital. They're throwing this party for me, right? Which is really nice of them, considering I hurt them and they had to be in the hospital and they were injured too. My friend was on crutches too because her knee was injured, right? This was horrible. And the other guy had his thumb in a cast. It was horrible. He had surgery. I mean, this was bad, but they were really cool to me. They treated me really well, and nobody held it against me. They wanted to have a big party. It was all the crew was there. So when Diane's mom wasn't home one day, they threw me this party, and they had a bottle of JD for everybody. I'm talking a fifth, like a big bottle of JD for everybody, right? And we drank it. We drank it all without chasers, man. I'm telling you, I was on Demerol at the time. So I'm drinking a fifth of JD whiskey, and I'm on Demerol, and just coming out of the hospital out of surgery, and I have to go to work at 4 o'clock in the evening, right? Because I'm supposed to be there at 4. And these people, I mean, I can't even stand up on my crutches. I can't even get up, right? I'm not passed out, but I'm pretty well passed out because I keep falling down and just laying there because I can't get up, right? It's really bad, but it does make for a funny story. And so, I mean, I threw up on my clothes. I had throw up all over my clothes. It was just so bad. A lot of people at the party did. We just drank way too much. We all had a bottle of JD. So these guys are drunk. They're driving me to work, and I'm like, "Oh God, don't wreck your car just to get me to work," you know? They're like, "Oh no, it's fine. We're gonna get you there right on time," man. They're driving me to work. I could throw up all over my clothes. So I show up to work. I fall down in the hallway. After I punched my time clock, and I fall down in the hallway. Somebody comes along, helps me get up because I can't get up. They all know I'm drunk. I probably stink to high heaven. I've thrown up on myself. Nobody says anything, right? They just let me work this shift. I'm not working. I'm just passed out at my desk, right? So my mom and dad, dad comes to pick my mom up. It's time to go home, right? It's 8:30 at night. So my dad comes. They help me get in the car. They don't say anything. Nobody says anything until later after we get home. And then, I'm like throwing up still. I'm still throwing up all over the place. It was probably a mixture of just my body was damaged from this car accident. I didn't go into the details of how damaged it was, but I mean, it was bad. You know what I mean? And I had just come out of surgery, a major surgery that took 9 hours to rebuild my ankle. And they said, with a 9-hour surgery like that, even like open heart surgery is only 2 hours. And there's 9-hour surgeries are really hard on a person. And they said, you've got to, this is going to be really hard on you, and it will take some years off your life to do this because this kind of thing is really hard on a person's heart. And you're screwed basically, right? And so I'm sicker than a dog, right? Just drank this fifth of JD. I asked my mom for a bucket because I can't get to the bathroom. I'm on crutches, right? It was a bad idea going to this party. They had it for me. It was nice, but I was sick, man. And so my mom brings me a bucket, and she's like, you're just ruining your life. She's telling me, as a mother would tell their kid, right? You're ruining your life. Look what you're doing to yourself. You've wrecked your car. You're injured. Now you've been drinking. You show up to work drunk. You're passed out at work. Now, look what you're doing with your life. You're ruining your life. This would have been good advice coming from a parent who had always been there for you and didn't thump you and beat the shit out of you every chance they got. Tell you they never wanted you and they hate your guts and that you're a rape child and you should have been born dead and stillborn. Which I heard that since I was like 2 years old. Probably before that, but I don't remember. But I remember the stuff after. So coming from my mom, it didn't mean anything, right? And I'm laying there, right? Still sicker than a dog. It's probably like 10:30, like 10 o'clock at night because I got my bucket. And she's talking to me. She's standing next to my bed. And I told her, I said, I'm ruining my life? I'm ruining my life? It just hit me what she was talking about. You, look what you are doing to yourself, right? It just popped into my mind, right? I'm like, you're the ones that ruined my fucking life. My life was ruined a long fucking time ago. It's been ruined since I was born. What are you talking about? I was like, you guys ruined my life a long time ago. You and Dad. At this point, I didn't even mention Rob. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, you're the ones who ruined my life. My mom's like, she's starting to get a little pissed off. She don't want to hear that. Because she takes no responsibility and she takes no accountability for what she did. None, nothing. No. So she leaves in a huff. And I'm like, I don't need that from that. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that ruined my life. This was a manifestation of the years of abuse and neglect and physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse on a daily barrage basis. That's the manifestation. I'm like, you're looking at it, man. And if you don't like what you see, tough, because you created it. You created this. You created this hatred in my heart. You created this wanting to be dead. Don't tell me about destruction. I know all about destruction. Trying to break every bone in my body. You know. So that was that. That was 18. And so, yeah, we'll pick up, I guess we'll pick up 19 now. We'll have to pick that up on another show. So, you know what I'm telling you. If you're a parent, man, if you don't like what you're seeing in your kids, take a good, hard look at yourself. That's all I can say. And as a survivor, for other survivors out here, do not give up. Because what the abuse created was not your fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't your fault. But what we do with our lives after we realize that it's not our fault, and after we realize that we need to, as adults, be adults and take responsibility for our adult lives, then it means change. We have to learn how to cope and to deal and to get through. And it doesn't mean that it's easy. Not at all. So, thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing my work, like I said. And thanks for doing everything you can to help a child to be free of abuse and protect children and not look at these kids out here as just trash, just garbage, just brats, just rotten little pieces of shit. You know, do what you can. We can do this, you know, and we can make a difference in a child's life. We have to work at it though, and you have to want to care. Right? You have to care. God bless you all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.